What's up guys, welcome to AnimeKouhai. If you'd like to help me out, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
As she drifted into the air, Velgryn's smile broadened as if to corroborate the idea.
Now, go. Go and render yourselves useful to me.
She spoke with a firm tone. The bows of Zomdo's and Gladium's airships were turned toward the rift in space, drawn in by the sound of her wonderful voice. The three Demonesses, who were continuing their ferocious battle, felt the effects of Velgryn's actions as they saw the war scenario drastically change. When Velgrynd was in her full rage, she was a force to be feared. In combat, she was unbeatable. She ruthlessly tormented Testarossa and the others with her immense power, not even allowing them to touch her. She never faltered and she never resisted. Even a simple magic-enhanced attack was extremely powerful. She was trying to destroy the three of them with all of her might, attacking like a berserker with no sense of reason. This was Velgryn's full strength even if she hadn't assumed her dragon form. The demons, however, were still alive. They would have lost their bodies long ago and been banished back to the demon world if Rimuru had not given them names. However, the magical prowess of the primal girls had strengthened the orichalcum skeletons that Rimuru had built. They were able to barely survive Velgryn's violence as a result of that.
What a surprise. I had anticipated finishing you sooner. You're stronger than I expected, and it's obvious that you're accustomed to close-quarters battle.
With them, Velgrynd was open and truthful. Even when she went all out against them, she didn't anticipate them to consume so much of her time.
We will never give up. If we ever attempted something so shameful, Diablo would make fun of us. That would be even more embarrassing than death.
This is really true. He's very malicious.
I'm sure Diablo would say something to the effect of, "You're one to talk, wouldn't he?" And Diablo wouldn't be wrong.
The Demonesses' eyes were still vibrant despite the fact that they were lying on the ground, beaten and battered. They maintained fearless facial expressions and genuine smiles. They embodied the idea that you weren't vanquished as long as you didn't admit defeat.
Oh no, this is so frustrating.
Velgrynd couldn't help but be perplexed by this. But the result was already decided. She had been successful in dragging Veldora out of the labyrinth, and that troublesome Rimuru and his top commanders were captured in their phantom fortress. All that was left to do was take control of him as intended. So, she had been ignoring what the three Demonesses were saying, but Testarossa's next words made her wince.
Well, it took some time, but I finally understand how parallel existence works.
Their intention was not to beat Velgrynd, but rather to stop her progress. Those were the prerequisites for a tactical win in this situation, but Velgryn's parallel existence ruse rendered that impossible, so Testarossa was trying to find a way to go through it.
If you don't mind, could you please explain it to me?
Oh, absolutely.
Despite being beaten to a pulp, Testarossa grinned graciously. She maintained her dignity despite everything, which impressed Velgrynd. She, therefore, made the decision to listen to her. Parallel existence, as explained by Testarossa, was not all-powerful. It had limitations in that she could only create a certain number of split bodies at once, and if any of them were destroyed, Velgrynd wouldn't emerge undamaged.
There would specifically be no physical harm. For spiritual life forms like us, however, using up our energy actually causes harm. What this means is...
Then, our assault wasn't in vain.
Then Ultima finished what Testarossa had just said. She returned her nod with a smile, but her eyes were not smiling as she assessed Velgrynd. Inwardly, the true dragon sighed.
This is why I avoided dealing with primals.
Testarossa had a point. She had accurately assessed the situation in such a brief amount of time while being completely overrun in battle. Even Velgrynd had to agree that she had an exceptional sense of warfare.
Well done, Blanc, or perhaps I should say Testarossa. You're right, and I praise you for it.
She was someone Velgrynd hoped she could recruit. Velgrynd pondered. Even if she killed them, they would eventually come back to life, so holding on to resentment was useless. Even if they weren't like a particular demon lord she was familiar with, Velgrynd found having to deal with a primordial to be extremely troublesome. Carrera laughed fearlessly, oblivious to Velgrynd's emotions.
Lady Velgrynd, you are just too calm. Lord Veldora would never pander to us in such a way.
Now Velgrynd was clearly irritated. Carrera described it as pandering, which was purposely being kind to your adversary while projecting a superior attitude toward them. Given how dangerous Testarossa and her companions could be, Veldora was sure to never display any weakness in their presence. This was crucial if he wanted to maintain his dignity. Velgrynd, though, was not at all amused by Carrera's statement. She was aware that she was being misinterpreted. She had no reason to like that assertion, but for some reason she couldn't help but feel a bit pleased with it. She was pleased to see such a recently problematic child developing some maturity as Veldora's older sister. She may have lost the desire to fight because of this. In any case, the time had come. She realized after a battle with Veldora that his strength was no longer what it once was. If she didn't give it everything she had, Velgrynd was going to suffer. Velgrynd made the decision to end the battle at this point after thorough consideration. She made the decision to let go of Testarossa and the others, all of whom she was capable of eliminating in an instant.
You are correct. He does appear to have matured considerably. Although I'm glad to see that, I'm afraid I can't be gentle with him. I've therefore chosen to leave you guys here for the time being.
Velgrynd's split body disappeared before the Demonesses could respond to this biased assertion. All they could do was observe as it transpired in an instant. Fires raged through the forest. Velgrynd cancelled the split bodies she had placed in various places and combined them into one. She changed into her dragon form with a flash of brilliant crimson light, donning a cardinal aura of reddish power. The trees caught fire just from the shockwave. Veldora had also changed back into a dragon, his might conjuring a ferociously roaring tempest. The two siblings were lighted by the flickering flames. The battle between the true dragons was currently in full force. After a long hiatus, Velgrynd resumed her original form and glanced at Veldora. He was also flaunting his enormous size and practically boasting about how much magicule energy he had. The two siblings hadn't seen each other in these forms in a very long time. A long time ago, Velgrynd had met Emperor Rudra. By the time Veldora started ravaging the nation, she was already in imperial circles. She did not leave Rudra's side and stayed out of sight of the public. She learned how to replicate herself via split body as a result of this, and the hassles that entailed, but only after Veldora was sealed away. By Velgrynd's estimation, their last encounter took place in southwest regions more than 2,000 years ago. When they first met, she simply used a small portion of her abilities to playfully tease Veldora, and he promptly fled from the scene. However, the effect was enormous. A whole volcanic zone was created in the regions below them as a result of the energy released during this brief battle between true dragons, and the resulting volcanoes are still reportedly active today.
I suppose the ceiling didn't weaken him after all. He's stronger than ever, in my opinion.
Velgrynd thought it was a fortunate miscalculation. The development of her sibling was genuinely pleasing. He would disobey Velgrynd, which was an issue, but it could be handled with strength. Rudra's strength could be trusted even if she failed.
Rudra has the ability to dominate even the true dragons as long as that power is available to him. To demonstrate that, even I was, what was I thinking about just now?
Velgrynd believed she was about to recall something crucial when her mind started to stray. She decided to adjust her strategy and make capturing Veldora her first priority instead. In the event that she had to rely on Rudra, she intended to reduce as much of his workload as possible by neutralizing as much of Veldora's resistance as she could.
I need to make things easy for Rudra because he's already stretched to his limits.
That was Velgrynd's genuine goal, and it was why she wanted to keep him out of it. There wasn't and didn't need to be any additional explanation. After all, she had a good chance of winning. Despite having a massive stockpile of magicules, Veldora wasn't making the best use of them. Because of this, Velgrynd didn't think Veldora was very dangerous. However, Velgrynd reasoned that she was able to defend herself because she had a better handle on her own powers. After all, even great strength is useless if you can't manage it.
I'll have to teach him a few things once he joins us.
Veldora would be a strong card in the game they were playing even now. However, Velgrynd wished to develop Veldora further so that he might rival Velzard. But for now, she wanted to end this fight swiftly by capitalizing on Veldora's inexperience. After that, the game board's components will move. Years had passed since the beginning of the game, but it was now almost ended. It appeared that Velgrynd and Emperor Rudra would win. They had to first apprehend Veldora. That would be their opportunity to triumph once they had his cooperation. They were hoping to complete this marathon quickly so that Rudra might be set free. Therefore, Velgrynd took her time before gradually launching an attack against Veldora. From the very beginning, the combat was really heated. Velgrynd took the initiative and launched a scorching burning breath before even considering a possible counterattack. From the dragon's mouth, a thin, compressed, extremely hot beam of light was emitting. Its anger advanced on Veldora at a terrifying rate, doubtlessly quicker than the speed of sound. Veldora escaped from it. He would be protected from flame damage due to his cancel flame skill, but he was nonetheless eager to avoid that heat ray.
I didn't anticipate you avoiding that. As foolish as I know you are, I figured that would end the battle right there. I see you've figured out what your gifts really are now.
Doesn't your breath have accelerated destruction on it? My magical power would have gone berserk if that had struck me. It makes sense that I would avoid it because I would waste energy trying to wrangle it again.
Veldora responded with a smile. He was correct, too. Accelerated destruction, a unique feature of Velgryn's assault, was nearly the strongest possible. All occurrences and phenomena may be accelerated by it, which would increase their devastating impact. Additionally, it might hasten the target's physiological processes. Even a spiritual life form couldn't withstand this force. While they could avoid being completely annihilated by it, they would still be subject to the chaotic energy that resulted. Intuitively feeling this, Veldora decided to avoid it. The outcome of Veldora's ultimate skill, Investigation King Faust's, Analyze and Assess, likewise confirmed this. This is why he was able to explain things to his sister with such confidence.
Huh. So you've seen right through it. You really have matured. I'm happy.
Velgrynd felt increasingly threatened by Veldora's response. Not merely a raging fool of a brother, the dragon in front of her required careful assessment. Because he had correctly predicted her abilities, he now possessed an ultimate skill. Even though a true dragon's standard strike has the strength of an ultimate by itself, when it is coupled with a skill like this, the threat increases dramatically. But Velgrynd was genuinely pleased. The development of her younger brother, who had before been insufficient, made her happy. She was worried, though, at the same moment. Veldora had developed to the point where he threatened her, which might cause Rudra's plan to fail completely. They wouldn't only lose control of him if they ignored this, they might even lose themselves. She had not anticipated such a level of development. However, Veldora grabbed the initiative as Velgrynd became more frightened.
Thinking about something while the fight is still going on, my sister? That's what I mean by letting your guard down.
He released his finisher move, Thunderstorm Roar, which increased the power of his storm magic. Even though Velgrynd took a direct hit from it, she was unharmed.
I see. You have truly attained an ultimate skill, haven't you? Veldora, I sincerely congratulate you.
My sister, you remain a formidable opponent. You deliberately caught that attack so you could investigate it.
Well then, what do you want? I have to gauge how dangerous your abilities are.
Has Faust, my ultimate skill, passed your test?
Isn't it analytical in nature? Your assaults don't seem to have more force, but your accuracy is greatly improved.
Hey anime fans, episode 10 of Solo Leveling is now live on Anime Fan Narrations. Check the description box for the link to listen. Don't miss out, subscribe for more epic adventures.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel. Shout out to the new members of AnimeKouhai supporters: Jerry Sladek, William Locke, Jordan Mersha, Jay Magsino, Reckerl17, Bismarck Munoz, Ryan Booker, Saagar Kotecha, Kamal Luke, Izat. Thank you so much for helping out. I'll see you guys in the next video.